Hi, my name is Chithminie Dolage. I'm happy to be here today. So I'm the founder of Makeover Maniac, and I'm also a freelance MC and marketer. So when I was very little, I used to see my mother. She had one single red lipstick and one single red nail polish that she would wear for every single event. But when I went to her with parties as a child, I saw a lot of other women wearing different colors, how their face changed, how they looked different compared to how I met them when they're not at an event. And it made me very inquisitive. What is the secret? And as soon as I grew up, let's say I was 12, 13, my cousins came over much older than me, and they would always have all these fancy colors and palettes. And of course, being an inquisitive child, obviously I put a whole rainbow on my face. But it gave me a sense of art, a sense of longing to create something that I can mold someone's face or someone's appearance by accentuating their features. And that got me really interested to a point that I started watching YouTube videos, learning more about fashion industry, learning about skin tones, how to take care of skin. And even throughout school, I was very interested in influencer blogs, YouTube. So afterwards, when I left school quite early. I left after my A-levels. And after my O-levels, I went to do my higher education, which was in advanced English language. And on the side, I also went to an academy which taught beauty culture and hairdressing. There I got to learn how to do hairdressing, makeup, facials, everything under the beauty culture field and hairdressing. Later on, I got my first job at 16, and that's when I properly got into the field and was like, okay, welcome to the new world. And that's how I got into the industry. So I was 16 and I was only a teenager working in the real world, in the beauty industry. It wasn't easy. Being a child surrounded by adults, I got pushed around, blackmailed, never learned much, and got exploited. But in the end, I learned to pull up my boots, learn what I could learn, and leave. Because I realized you can't work in an environment that's full of hatred. And it's normal. I've seen it happen to a lot of children, a lot of teenagers who start very early in the industry, get pushed around. But if you pull your boots up and tell yourself, okay, I'm going to learn what I learn and leave, you can do it. And that's what I did. I left. I tried many different fields. I tried corporate. My first corporate job was in finance, and I was the first woman lead in 3 years of that company being established. I was then a coordinator and receptionist at a beauty clinic where they did plastic surgery and cosmetic services. And then afterwards, I also was in the videography and media industry where we did music videos, creative directing, and a lot of digital marketing. So this was all fun, but after a while, I realized, okay, even though I'm doing this, I'm still doing my business of Makeover Maniac on the side. And it was becoming a bit too much for me doing a full-time business and managing Makeover Maniac. So I decided, okay, after all these years, after all these jobs, I've collected money. And this money, for any business, you have something called a capital. Capital is an investment that you use to start a business. So I collected this capital, and after a while I was like, okay, I've gone through a lot of fields, gained a lot of experience, and it's time for me to go on my own. So I left my final job as a creative director, and I started my business, Makeover Maniac, full-time, not part-time, opened a studio. Yeah, that was probably the biggest risk I took because I thought, okay, I'm leaving all of a sudden. What happens if this doesn't work out? I have money, yes, I have saved up, but what if it runs out? What if I lose clients all of a sudden? Is it worth it? That was the biggest risk I took, leaving a full-time job to pursue my passion as an entrepreneur. The most important decision I made in my business so far was to not just rely on one income. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm supposed to rely on my business, and I do. I love it. But being an entrepreneur, being a freelancer doesn't mean that your income is always stable. So I knew I had something to fall back on. I always had to have something called a plan B. So that's when I went and I started freelancing into the corporate field, where I started doing event management, event emceeing, and also being a freelance marketer for brands. So that way I always knew that even if something happens in the business, even if there are my bad days, I always have something to fall back on and to support the business. So something I've noticed very commonly in the salon and beauty field is that a lot of people learn from YouTube videos, TikToks, which is great. But the only thing is, you can't use that method for every single person. You can't use every single skin tone for every single person. You have to realize the skin texture, skin type, the face of their shape, and of course, most importantly, skin color. Yes, we are a melanin-filled country, but still, there are so many different types of skin tones and how we can adapt to them. But what I do to stay with innovation is I always learn. I learn how to adapt with different face shapes, different skin tone, different textures, and see what I can do to make my client feel great about their own skin without putting too much makeup, too much setting spray. What I like to do is I like to make my clients feel that they're already perfect the way they are. Makeup is just a light brush on top of their skin. It's supposed to make them feel confident. It's not a mask. It's supposed to bring out their confidence by accentuating their features, not covering their features and bringing new features in. That's how I stay ahead of innovation. I try to make my clients feel comfortable in their skin while giving them the best service to suit their skin type, their texture, their skin color. So far, this business has been going on for around 7 years. I've been doing this since I was 16 on the side, and so far there's been a lot of changes. Makeover Maniac started as just makeup. Actually, there was no hair. Hair was not included. It was just a makeup service. But over the years, hair was included, all types of hair styling services. And then we moved to bridals, photo shoots, commercials, movies, and even celebrity endorsements with Sri Lanka's national cricket team, celebrities, music industry, and it's been amazing. It's been a lot of improvement, a lot of evolvement. And we also started doing facials, which has become very popular among a lot of celebrities, especially those in the music industry. And I can't wait to see what more I can learn. Facials also took me time to learn. I got my qualifications and my license to do that. That took some time, but it was worth it. So for the next 5 years, I just want to keep learning, keep adding new services, and keep providing the best services I can while gaining new clients and keeping my current clients very satisfied. There are different qualities depending on your industry also, but then there are the main qualities. That is always having the urge to learn new things, adapting with the industry, adapting with new sources, new techniques, new methods, and also having a positive attitude. In an entrepreneurial industry, there's a lot of setbacks and a lot of dips here and there, but you always have to learn that that's just the way it is and not get demotivated by it too much, and always try to think on the positive side. How to think on the positive side? Think about everything you've accomplished so far as an entrepreneur. How many people believe in you? How long it took you to get here? Just because it's one setback, one bad review, one maybe angry client, doesn't matter. You know how hard you work to get to where you are today, and you can always keep pushing through. No matter how many setbacks there are, you can always make up for it by doing better. This is what I feel are the qualities needed for an entrepreneur. And not just that, there's one more important thing that I feel like is not expressed enough. That is financial stability. When putting any business, you should always have financial stability. Okay, yes, you want to put up a business. Money, put it in. No. When you have money collected for a business, plan how you are going to use it and then prepare your business. These are the three qualities I believe to learn. Positive mindset and financial knowledge is needed to be an entrepreneur, in my opinion. So I'm managing Makeover Maniac full-time as an entrepreneur, but I'm also managing my freelance event management, emceeing, voiceovers, digital creation, marketing, and social media management. So I'm mostly working 6 days a week, but my support system, that would be my family, my partner, my friends, are very understanding. So there are times that I am free and then I go meet and I spend some time with my friends and family. And for that, I'm very grateful. I've realized throughout the years, I have met people who I would consider friends that have dragged me down, that I didn't realize. But then throughout those years, I realized from the people who were dragging me down and the people who are lifting me up, there's a big difference in the middle. And that's when I decided to cross to this side and leave the people who were dragging me behind and maintain the people who were supporting me, uplifting me, and understanding my hustle, understanding how I work, and respecting that I'm also very busy. I can't spend time with them 24/7. My friends are very understanding. My family is very supportive. My father is the most supportive person in my family. My father and my cousin Madison and my aunt Julianne, very supportive, very understanding, and because of that, I've been able to maintain a good relationship and balance between my work and my personal life, meaning I not only work, but the days that I am free, I get to spend very leisurely with the people I love.